Hello, I'm Michael Behrens. I lead the monthly walks on Hill Country Conservancy's Nalle Bunny Run Wildlife Preserve. Michael Behrens here. Hello, this is Michael Behrens. I'm Michael Behrens. This is Michael Behrens. This is Michael Behrens. Michael Behrens. Let's see what we got in here.
Oh.
Yep, there was a little frog. Oh, there's one. And they're Rio Grande leopard frog.
Oh, frogs!
Here, see a couple surface striders, a big cave cricket on the surface of the water. Let's see what we find. I see some cave crickets on the far wall. On the property. Still water in there. More water than I expected with the lack of rain in the past few weeks. The water level is pretty high this month in the spring, and it looks pretty clean too. I'm sure this is because of the recent rains we've gotten over the past couple weeks. What we got in here? Wow, still full of water. This antelope horn milkweed plant, which, if you've heard about milkweed, they are the host plant for monarch butterflies, and they have this. There are lots of different milkweeds, and this one has this distinctive flower structure and these long, narrow leaves, which is where the antelope horn names comes from. And you can see on this one we've got a couple of little monarch butterfly caterpillars. Stripy, they look like bird dung, and then there's that red and that orange and black bug on top of that flower, which is a milkweed bug, common name milkweed bug. So last month we looked at antelope horn milkweed in the same spot, and we found a couple monarch butterflies on one of the plants. And this month, returning to some of these same milkweed plants, they're not flowering anymore. Last month they had these big spherical flowering bodies, and now one of them at least has turned into a seed pod. So this seed pod is going to harden and eventually crack open, and it's full of like cottony seeds. For the past couple months we've been looking at these antelope horns, native milkweed plant, and we're checking on them again this month. June, by the way, and the seed pods that had started to form last month have served their purpose. They've popped open at some point and released. It has like a cottonwood type feathery seed that gets distributed by the wind. And here on this, you can still see some of the leaves on this antelope horn milkweed. The long, narrow leaves are what gives it its name, antelope horn. That monarch butterfly found a place it really likes. It's spending a lot of time on these frostweed flowers, drinking nectar. You can see its tongue being extended down into each one. That was really fun. There it goes. Oh, just moved to another flower. So this is this cleared off area with these little mounds is a huge colony of Texas leafcutter ants that's been here for a long, long time. That's a native species of ant that, and you can see, coincidentally, all the vegetation is stripped of leaves here. These ants collect, cut little pieces of leaves off of plants, bushes, and trees, and take the pieces down underground, and actually grow fungus on the little pieces of leaves and eat the fungus. So they're like underground farmers. Texas leaf cutter ants.
Like I don't know where to step. Michael, do these ants bite? You know?
I think they will, but they won't like go after you like fire ants. This is a really neat drainage on the Bunny Run. A little waterfall that's very dependent on rain these days, and but it's flowing today. We're really fortunate. You can hear it trickling, and there's northern cardinals singing in the background. And one really neat thing is you can see these pools, these little shallow pools on the surface of the limestone rock. And I'm not sure about this. I'm going to have to research this more, but I think these pools are formed by limestone dissolved in the water, depositing the ridges, depositing the borders around the pools over the years. And if I'm right, I've seen something similar on some parts of Bull Creek on Concordia University property, and it's a very sensitive, really unique, neat hill country formation. In May or June, we filmed this neat drainage here. This drainage is further downhill from the spring that we looked at, and it's a continuation of the flow that up there that starts with the neat karst rocks and the little pool with the maidenhair fern around it. And as you can see, this is a much larger drainage, and last time we were here it was flowing. It was alive with water flowing through over all these exposed limestone rocks. And the difference between now and then has been rainfall. Less rain has dried up this most of this drainage here, but you can still see the natural pools that have formed in the surface of this limestone from the really neatly shaped different shapes of natural pools that have formed, I think, over millennia of limestone deposits that have been dissolved in the water, settling and forming those ridges. And further down the drainage here, you see there is still a little bit of water. It looks pretty stagnant, but there is actually a little side spring over there that's still trickling in. Just downhill from the spring that we check each month, we have this beautiful little drainage, and you see how it's running. It's pretty amazing. We have this beautiful natural spot surrounded by an office park and neighborhoods. That's one of the reasons I'm really glad this preserve was created, to preserve little spots like this. So this is a twisted leaf yucca plant, and they're real common in the Texas hill country. And this one is blooming. It has this stem here. Oh, and look at some of the flowers already ready to fall off. But these twisted leaf yuccas have these beautiful white flowers that actually hang upside down. And if you open them up, you can see they look a lot more like a flower you're used to identifying. And a lot of local gardeners really love these twisted leaf yucca blooms, but a lot of people have a hard time keeping them because white-tailed deer really like to eat them. And in a lot of urban and suburban settings, there are a lot of white-tailed deer that I've seen some people with these twisted leaf yuccas with cages built around the stem to protect it from from deer because they want to have the nice white flowers, and the deer like to eat those flowers. And so it's interesting here because the Nalle Bunny Run has a small population of white-tailed deer, but I guess they have enough other things to eat, or there are enough blooming twisted leaf yuccas that they haven't found this one and chomped on it. Last month we looked at a couple twisted leaf yucca plants that were in bloom. They had these stalks and they had these beautiful bunches of white flowers hanging vertically. And now, as you can see, those flowers have progressed, served their purpose, and dropped off. And now the stalk is still here, but it's mostly bare. And the stalk will probably dry up and fall away in the coming weeks. Just walking down the trail for like the second, maybe third time ever on the Nalle Bunny Run. We just found this white-tailed deer antler, and it's mostly intact. It looks like this little tine here is broken, and that actually looks broken rather than chewed off. Sometimes you find these antlers and that you find little gnawed marks in them from rodents like to gnaw them to get minerals that they don't get otherwise in their diet. And but I see another crack here, so we just found this antler in a rut here in the truck trail. But as you can see, it looks pretty relatively freshly shed. Oh, there's a little doodle bug, an isopod on it. So I found another antler, this time much older, and this one is covered in little gnawings, like the rodents have really enjoyed finding this and getting some minerals, supplementing their diet with some minerals that they wouldn't normally get. That is really cool. So I'm gonna put that back down here. So Carolyn just spotted two white-tailed deer antlers right beside each other. You know, usually antlers are shed individually. Here's one of them. This one looks like it's been in the ground for a little while. You can see this is where it meets the head of the deer. Looks like, wow, that's nicely formed antler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, possibly 6. Would that little nub be a 6th? I don't know. And here's the second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. These look real similar in size, but this one has an extra point or two. So it's possible, judging from the whiteness of these look like to be the same age to me, so it could be that these both fell off of the same deer at about the same time, which is really, I think, a pretty remarkable thing to happen. You usually find them singly. And we've talked before about antlers and how the local rodents will find them and chew on them because they're an important mineral source that the rodents instinctively know they need. And I do not see any little gnawings on these antlers, so I think these must be pretty fresh, or probably the most recently formed antlers for this season. So that's a really cool find.
That Michael brought me here to see. This is Yankee weed, or Eupatorium compositifolium or compositifolium. Big perennial colony forming with stems that can be 6 feet tall in certain places. And it's not uncommon at all from the global perspective, but it prefers to grow on sandy soil, which is hard to find in Travis County. But if you go down the river to Bastrop County, cross the county line into Bastrop County, where sandy soils are the norm, you'll see this every day. And in the genus Eupatorium, which in the broad sense includes a lot of our best pollinator plants, the best things you could have around your yard to attract butterflies and bees and any other nectar seeker.
And you said this is not a generally uncommon plant, but this is the first specimen that you know of in Travis County?
That's the first time I've seen it in Travis County. There aren't any herbarium specimens, but with your permission,
sure,
we will collect a specimen or two. I don't think it's going to hurt this population.
Oh, and I wish we could record smell, because I smell it now. It's all this big group is all in bloom, and you can see the sandy soil around it. Like Bill was saying, the reason it's growing here is because of the sandy soil, and there just aren't a lot of really big sandy spots in Travis County like this spot, Sandy Prairie here on the Nalle Bunny Run.
It's like a beach. We should have brought our towels.
All right, cool. So we saw two large birds flying through the deciduous woods here that are, I think they were juvenile great horned owls, and I see one, and it's perched up about 20 feet on the side of one of the tree trunks. Let me see if I can get a picture of it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, a juvenile great horned owl is looking at me right now. Looking at us. And the juvenile birds haven't figured out to be as wary as the adults, and sometimes you can see them more often than the adults. Great horned owls are really cool. They're a real common, huge owl species, and they're so common because they're so adaptable. And we can find them in a nature preserve like this, but you can even find them in urban and suburban neighborhoods, probably even downtown Austin. There are great horned owls. See, it's turning its head back and forth, sometimes looking at us and sometimes looking the other direction. I bet its sibling is nearby. It's tolerant. Oop, there he goes. So we're looking at a blue jay that's perched in the distance on a bare branch. These are also year-round resident birds, pretty common neighborhood birds. It's nice to get some footage. There he goes. Here's a bird we've been hearing much more than seeing this morning, a Carolina wren. This one just happens to be content enough to stay in this perch for a while. Even letting me set up the, oh, there he went. And this is a beautiful male variegated meadowhawk. We're watching a couple eastern phoebes that are hunting alongside of the trail. We got a little bit of scope footage of one a few minutes ago. And here's this one. Oh, it just came right between us. Might have even brushed against Carolyn here. Do the usual group tour, but with just a couple of HCC staff, Sarah and Caroline, taking pictures and taking video. So thanks for doing that. And pictures of that. Oh, there it goes. I got exactly one photograph of it before it took off. It's back again. This was another virtual tour of Hill Country Conservancy's Nalle Bunny Run. Hill Country Conservancy is a great local land trust. If you're looking for good local conservation causes to support, HCC is one of them.